Hey everyone, today we're going to go take a road trip over to John's and we're bringing back his Paperboy board. Jay and I tested this and we managed to get voltage on it, and they were having no LED light coming on. Turns on that LED was actually bad. Voltage seemed okay across the board, but we did not get a chance to plug it directly into another Paperboy board, but we did test voltage on it using a test setup that Jay had. So let's go ahead, we're going to get in the truck, we're going to head over to John's house. Hello? Hello, it's that Tim guy.
Oh, Tim, what's up? Come on.
Hey, how are you, John?
I got a Frogger for you.
A Frogger?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Do you like Frogger?
I do. You know, it's funny because my wife has been asking for one.
Oh, really?
She has.
Well,
and
I got a great one, and I need the room.
You need the room?
Yes.
What?
Hey, Jay's here too, by the way.
Hey, Jay.
Is that Tim guy?
Yeah, it's me.
Jay, what are you doing down here?
Well, I'm coming to acquire a Frogger because it's my wife's birthday and she wants a Frogger for the basement.
Very nice of you.
Well, I've got probably the best Frogger you can get.
Now, I've seen it down here, and I'm not going to lie, John, when you told me you were going to let this go, it was way over here, way closer to the stairs. So, we've got a long ways to go past all these games here.
Nah, we're fine.
So John put it in the corner for me, because he does, I'm not sure he actually wants to let it go.
I mean, honestly, this corner, that's on the way out. That's the end of the line.
Now, I have that corner in my basement too.
Yeah.
If once a game's in that corner, it better leave that
Right.
corner or it's gonna leave the entire basement for good.
Actually, Paperboy used to be there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But you know, you try to cycle them over so they get another life.
Yes. Well, Paperboy went down, and pulling the game out of there to work on it is not ideal.
Yeah. So I like to put my working games in the corner.
Yeah.
So you've had how many Froggers?
Well, I've had this Frogger for. This is one of my first games, right? This is when my arcade was in the garage.
I remember that.
Oh wow!
I think I've had this game for well over 10 years.
Wow.
I picked up 4 Froggers at one point, and they were all in various stages of, like, some of them were complete,
Right.
some of them were like empty cabs.
Yes.
I think one was a conversion to a trivia game.
Trivia Whiz.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so I think only one of them like really worked.
And a lot of times,
What?
the Frogger cabinets are really beat up. If
Yes.
you notice, like the bottoms, they get all, they flake up and they get all rough around the bottoms.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
happened. So I had these 4 cabinets.
Yeah.
One was like a trivia game. One actually worked, but the cabinet was falling apart.
rough. Yeah.
one was empty, I think, and another was converted to something else or something, or had some Frogger in it. And so basically, I took the best cabinet. And made the best cabinet I could from those 4.
Yeah.
And then I think gave the rest of them away. Huh. And then because we got them I think a couple of them came from that warehouse that was over here.
Budlow or
something.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think, was one of them painted green, if I remember? During
I don't know.
I think I've seen a Frogger that was all painted green.
I don't think it was.
Yours was.
But most of the cabs were bad, like crumbling.
Yeah.
This particle board is it's
garbage.
It's garbage. Yeah. And this is by far the best one.
Tim.
And this kick plate here came off another Frogger.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because this cabinet was the best cabinet, sides and back and top and bottom, but the front was shot.
Wow.
So I pulled the front off of another cabinet and put that on here.
Wow.
So Tim, you or your wife is getting the best of 4 Frogger cabinets.
Yes.
She
all
is.
wrapped up in one.
Yes.
Yeah. So remember, we went on a trip and I picked up a Frogger cabinet that has Tiger Heli. And that cabinet, you move it, it starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
So
That's how a lot of these cabinets were when I got them. Like, you just looked at them and they wanted to fall apart.
Yeah.
And so
I noticed you've got some really high scores up here.
Yeah.
too.
So Don Hayes, who had the world, he might still have the world record. He came down here and played my Frogger. This is the highest score you can put on Frogger before it rolls or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he just got to that score and killed himself.
Wow.
So my wife's got a really high score to shoot for. I mean,
That's the highest score possible
World record.
that can display on Frogger.
Wow, that's insane.
So I have the high score safe kit in here. Original marquee. This I believe to be a reproduction bezel, and this is reproduction. Original coin door with the kind of Japanese mechs, very much like Nintendo. I put side art on here. This was an operator option.
oh wow, okay.
So this is the real.
Otherwise, they were all wood grain to start with.
Yeah, I think what happened was when an operator bought one of these games, it came with a little postcard. It said, if you want the side art,
Send in this postcard.
Yes.
With a check.
yeah, or maybe for free. I don't know. I think it was a way for them to kind of cheap out and say, no one's gonna send the postcard in, right? But yeah, this I think this old game. I don't remember where I got this, but this is the real artwork.
Yeah.
But you don't often see the side art on it.
Right. So
and
we'll
when we
have to
pull
make
it
sure
out,
that-
you can look at it more.
All right, great. Well,
And I think I put a positive. I put a new switching power supply in here.
Nice.
so this game's ready to go. I can just,
High
plug
score
and play.
save kit. Games never give me trouble. I rebuilt the monitor. I spent a lot of time getting that Geo7 curl out of that thing.
Oh, great.
Yeah, wow.
You know,
Tim, you're getting one hell of a machine.
Yeah.
Well, Laura is.
Sorry.
I mean, it's dialed in.
Yeah.
It's dialed in. So it's ready to rock. So
we'll
all right, so we're gonna pull this out.
and we'll pull it out. We're gonna help John pull out a few other games as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a busy day.
Yeah, we got to make room down here. So
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll see it maybe either back in the truck or back at the house. All right, John's pulled his coin door lock off, so we now are good to go here. Putting the power cord inside. It is indeed a Frogger board. It's got nice ancient cursive script
you can't
there.
forge that with that marker.
That is
So
authentic.
that's how we know.
That's
authentic.
authentic.
No forgeries in here, Tim.
Authenticity.
well, it is a Sega Gremlin board.
It's not a...
That was bootlegged a lot, wasn't it? That board,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
They had bootlegs of...
like JAMA ones.
It's not a Mogger or anything like that.
Look at that nice side art. Now that we can see it here.
Mogger.
A Mogger or a Dogger. Yeah, it's pretty good. And Tim, this joystick actually feels pretty good too. The grommet on it is nice and
that
tight.
was rebuilt.
Because a lot
good.
of times they get really sloppy.
Yeah, they get pretty sloppy. We don't want a sloppy
Yeah,
joystick.
that's a 4-way Wicco with the new grommet in there.
Oh, perfect. I literally can just plug this in and say, wife, have a great time.
Plug and play.
Plug and play.
Darn thing.
Right.
Perfect. This will be a first.
Yeah, right. Isn't it nice when that happens?
It
really
it's,
happens.
it's a rare occasion that I don't have to do something. So it'll be nice to just drop it in and watch it get played. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and put this in the truck.
1, 2, 3.
Great. Nice teamwork. Look at that Bondo.
I don't know. Is it? I don't know why it's there. Oh, I think I bondoed this front edge.
Yeah, probably seal it up. All right.
Just
I'll
probably
pull
chewed
out.
up.
Get it out of the way here. All right, we're back. My wife gave me the WTF face when I pulled in with this. She's extremely happy. She hopped in and took pictures, but she didn't want to be in anything. But she's extremely happy, and she's happy to see it here, and the kids are very happy. The youngest one said, it's the Froggy game. So we're gonna bring this out of the truck, and we'll bring it into the basement. Not far enough. Here it is. I made it out. All by myself. Took 3 of us to put it in. It was a weird angle. That's fine. But here we go. Here's the Frogger from John's Arcade, and we are now outside, and we will go into the basement next. Probably in a day or so. I'm heading off to Freeplay right now to go fix some games. Alright, we're here at Freeplay. Gonna go fix a few games for our friend Jay while they work on many other things. Alright, let's go do some work. Alright, tonight I will be working on Omega Race, and we got our friend over here, Maddie Z.
Hi everyone.
Who is part of the floating Freeplay crew here between Providence and Worcester. who helps out, and he's going to be working on this Defender cabinet today, and we're going to putting in a new board. We've got a RAM issue here, and for us as, you know, this operator life, it makes it a lot quicker to just swap over a board while the other one's getting worked on. So Matty Z is going to take apart Defender, and I'm going to come over here and work on Omega Race. So here on the Omega Race, we are going to replace all 4 of these transistors here because we've got some nice blooming effects and other monitor issues happening while the game's running. And we're also probably going to replace a fan down in here because this game gets rather hot while running, so we need some good ventilation. And Matty Z over here has removed the old board off of Defender. He's going to go put the new one in.
See how it looks.
We should be good. Here are the transistors that we're replacing. We've just done this first one, cleaned it up, put a new insulator in. Now we're going to go over here and do this one.
Let me just look at the
All right, here we go. Last screw here. So taking out that last screw. These are all nice and socketed here. Let's see if we can see through the back. See that wiggling? There's this socket for it. So go ahead and we're going to take this off. Out of the socket. Take the insulator with it. Alright, trying to do this one-handed, so bear with me here. I like to hold it in the back. So here's the old insulator. We'll clean this stuff up, put our new insulator on and our new transistor and screw it in. Put our new insulator on. Cleaned up all the old thermal paste. If you're using one of those plastic type insulators, you will put new thermal paste on, and with these ones you don't need to. They do a nice job. So you've put our new insulator here, a silica pad or sil pad, in, and one thing you want to make sure you want to watch is the orientation. Those pinholes are not centered, they're off-centered. So if you try to put it in the wrong way, things are gonna break. So make sure you watch that when they go in here. Things are just off-center. When you put this insulator pad on, you'll be able to see for sure. So all new transistors in. Let's check to make sure everything matches up. This should be 3716. It is 3792, 16, 92. And these things go in pairs, so that's one good way to check. So we've got these 2 here and those 2 there. So they match up. Alright, so now we'll go turn the power on and test it, and let's go see how Matty Z's doing. Matty Z, how you doing over here?
Putting the original board back in because we had an issue with the replacement board. So we're actually going to turn around right now if you want to take a look.
All right, let's see what happens.
Sounds good.
Got a boot sound.
Let's see how it looks. They have issues still.
Hey, wait a minute. Initial tests indicate unit okay.
That looks better
Hey,
than what we've seen. So the
Which board is this?
This is the original board that I think Jay just refilled the power header on. So it looks
This is
like
not the replacement one.
the replacement board had an issue.
The replacement board had an issue.
So we thought
We're back to the
board had
original
the
one.
issue, but the replacement board wasn't even booting up to this.
So we had a RAM issue here before us, so let's see if we can...
Yeah, so we'll see if this, give it a
Does
few
it
minutes.
retract and
see if it has an issue.
Actually, this black net as well.
Well, I don't see the RAM issue. Before we were getting some vertical lines coming through, so this looks a lot better. So we reflowed headers.
The power header, yeah.
Power header got reflowed.
Yeah, and that was
Alright.
causing some issues, and Jay wasn't sure if it was the ROM board, and again on a Williams.
Okay,
there's 5
so
boards
maybe it
that
was a
play.
power issue. We'll
Could
see.
be.
We'll let it run for a while and
Yeah.
see what happens.
See if there's any-
Because when I initially got this all working with the original power or the new power supply, it was fine, and then we let it run for a while, and those RAM issues came up. So we'll let the heat do its job and see what it breaks. So Jay has just let me know that these Motorola branded 3716 transistors may cause issues. So we're gonna swap them out. We've got another brand we're gonna put in. Same brand as these. Alright, I like to check to make sure I've got my insulators around everything. Nothing's gonna touch. And I also like to make sure that in the back, everything is as it should be with all the pins. Let's see, can you see anything? No, probably not. Everything's in there as it should be. You can see the pins kind of going through. Well, not from this angle, but you can get the idea. Alright, so we've done all 4 of those transistors. The monitor is working. What I was looking for is when you take your ship into the corners, actually that top edge there, it would kind of get lost and fold over, and it's not doing that now. So we are good. That was the fix. So now we're going to replace this fan down here because these get pretty hot. Even this metal's hot right now. They're warm, and these transistors get pretty hot. So we're gonna go ahead and get some more airflow in here by replacing that fan down there. Alright, so we've removed the fan off the bottom, which has this plate here and has 4 screws holding it in. Next thing we need to do to get this fan out is we need to drill out the pop rivets that are holding this fan in so we can screw in the new one. So we're gonna go ahead and do that next. I should have brought my tripod so I can film in slow-mo. Alright, so we put the new fan into the old plate, put our screws in. I lost a little tiny nut that's down here. I'm trying to find it. But the next thing to do is we're going to take this connector here, we're going to cut it off of this fan because it's soldered in, and we'll put some connectors on so that we can just plug it into this fan here. We'll be good and done. Alright, new fan is in, plugged in, and blowing air in to cool that off. Right, Matty Z?
You got it, Timmy.
Alright. Now, we go eat. I hope.
Record number 7.
So we just wrapped up the Omega race. It's much cooler inside with that fan blowing. The monitor isn't blooming and we don't have the issue where things kind of fold over. One thing that was rather interesting is when we started a 2-player game, normally you think this side is player 1. I actually put player 1 on what I would have thought was the player 2 side. But if we start a player 1 game, it does keep everything over here on this side, as it should. But nothing's folding over like it was before. So we are good. So now we're going to wrap up and shut the lights off and go home. Alright, we're pulling into the garage after a long day. We spent our day over at John's. Spent our day over at John's and down at Freeplay in Worcester. We are here. We have made it back. It is about 11:24 p.m. and we're gonna call this day done. Except, well, I'm not done yet because I still need to move in the Frogger. But we'll take a quick look at what's in the garage because I haven't done that in a while. Well, I mean, you guys kind of know what's in the garage, but got a table of a mess. I need to help my friend with this monitor here because that monitor is supposed to go into the Robotron we're working on. But after the Robotron, I've been working on this Tempest, and we're getting there. I haven't really filmed anything with it. Been doing a lot of board work with Jay, and this is part of a trade deal we ended up doing. But yeah, you can see, got the sticker on it. That was monitor marked for me. But hopefully we'll get this in too at some point. And then I've got things that I like to work on. The other thing I'd like to take a look at sometime soon again is the Shooting Master, because it's just collecting dust and I don't ever see this one pop up working. So let's get it up and going. And then a desk. Got to do a desk. And then we gotta get the asteroids in. Now I gotta go charge the battery. Of course, I'm gonna pretend like I charged the battery, but I didn't, because if I turn the camera off and then back on again, it gets like a little bit more juice and will last for another minute or so. But so I've been running the asteroids in here in the garage, power cycling. We'll turn it on real quick just so we can see what it's doing. Because remember, I was having that issue with the monitor losing part of it, and I've power cycled it. It's been in the garage, temperature changes, whatever else. So if it comes on and it stays, I'm moving this in. There we go. So we're good. We have the whole monitor image. You can see the, the high score save kit, fancy flying, that 3D triangle. That's pretty cool. I like that. But we have it all. So it's working. Just need to bring it in and figure out what's leaving, what's going out. I don't know. Something. I mean, I don't want to get rid of anything. Maybe I have some friends that want to hold on to things for me. I think that's the next move, right? But this is working. I want to bring it in. Big changes. Well, not big. Small changes. And then the other thing I did pick up here is we've got a Poke 1. Actually picked up 2. One of them I put into the Tempest board that I'm borrowing from a friend so that we can get that Tempest up and going, but I'm not sure what's the deal yet. I've got to take a look and spend some more time with it. But the spinner is working, but it's working better in one direction than the other, so I'm not sure if that's just a, bad connection somewhere or if it's the actual Pokey. But we'll play with that soon. Now look, the battery's dying again. All right, until tomorrow, we'll bring that game in over there. All right, it's that time. We're gonna make room for Frogger to come down, and I think we're actually just gonna pull out Tiger Heli because it is a Frogger cabinet, and the plan was to convert that to Frogger anyway. So Tiger Heli is gonna come out, but I need you guys to start thinking because I've got a Tempest that needs to come down, and I gotta figure out what's gonna leave to get the Tempest in. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. I don't know what to bring out. I need more room. More room? And I want to bring the Asteroids cocktail table in, which I think is going to go where the Space Invaders is. Over there, at least for now. Alright, let's start sliding out Tiger Heli. So here it is, it's all strapped up on the Super Dolly 2000. This is the one-man operation. This is the cabinet that I feel like was falling apart as I moved it out of here. But that's okay. We'll figure out a home for it. Maybe I sell it. Maybe I put it in the barn. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a friend will borrow it. All right, let's go for a ride. I know it's dark. It's nighttime now. So I'm going to, really quickly, since we have two Frogger cabinets side by side, we're going to compare the two and use my flashlight here. So here's the Tiger Heli, and we can see our coin door here is missing pieces and whatever else. And this one is not, but as far as like everything else goes, like we've got our control panel, nothing's been modified really on either one. This one's got the, other Romstar overlay on it. And you can see in here that they are indeed using the old bezel. They just painted it black. And I documented that previously. And, well, now we're going to go look at the important part, the inside. So here we have the two Frogger cabinets. The one on the right is Tiger Heli, and the one on the left is the indeed Frogger cabinet. You can tell that both have weathered differently, but they both get marked up in the same spots. So, typical wear. So here is the conversion, and here you can see we have, the other harness that's here. This does not look like it's JAMA on here. Probably the Romstar pin out there. We've got our power brick over here, fuses, switching power supply, isolation transformer. We've got a Wells Gardner monitor in here. We have our sticker here saying our serial number, and then our check sheet here for quality control. This is April 15th, 1982. And as you guys may or may not know, but Frogger cabinets and a lot of the Sega cabinets, Gremlin cabinets from this time, did not use power switches. You just plugged them in, which is kind of annoying, but so it is. But here's your interlock on it and some cobwebs. All right, let's come back over here. Over here we have our sticker here, their job order and our serial number. So this is 198710. This was 198799, so built pretty close to each other. This does not have a date on it, which is too bad, but we can probably figure that this was close to, well, this is 710. It's really close to this one at 799. They're not that far apart as far as game builds go. They could have been even done within a few days of each other. So April 15th, 1982 is this one, so maybe the 14th, even the 13th. I'm not quite sure how many they were cranking out every day. Here's our power brick on this one with a switching power supply and our isolation transformer in the back. We still have our interlock here, and this screw is coming off, so we're going to tighten that back up. And let's see, different monitor in here. This is a G07 in this one, and not the Wells Gardner. But honestly, You mean I know that's not a Wells Gardner? I mean, I know that this is not the original monitor because it's got Arkanoid burn, and I put that monitor in. And I believe the one I did pull out of here was an Electrohome G07. Anyway, so here we go. We have our Frogger board here. And otherwise, everything else looks pretty similar. Some of our original connectors and whatnot. This has, whatever this is missing, this must, that other stuff must have been for power. This stuff here, I'll have to look that up because this looks original to it. And I wonder what that is. It's got some transistors on it, big giant heat sinks. I'm guessing this is for power. But I don't know. Somebody will know. I'll look it up, or somebody will tell me. But there we go. So let's see. Actually, let's just check the wires coming off of here. Field ground. Green, red. I wonder if some of these were on there. Green, red. They're going on to that. Yeah. That's gotta be. But who knows what happens in conversions. It's just kind of interesting seeing everything side by side. As far as like on the front, the control panel on the Tiger Heli actually has a Monroe joystick here. So this is the nice Monroe joystick. It's still a, leaf switch joystick, but they rotate real nice. They use those in things like gyrus. But, all right, let's button this up, and we will now go and wheel it in the dark down to the basement. One other thing I'd like to show is just what happens to these particle board cabinets over time. Now, this one's in really nice shape here, and you can see that it's not, the T-molding matches the width of the cabinet. If we look over here, you can tell that the T-molding no longer matches the width of the cabinet. So this has definitely seen moisture, and you can kind of follow it back. It gets narrower as it gets closer to the top. But yeah, unfortunately, these cabinets just take a pretty hard beating over time, and they weren't meant to last. But yeah, I did want to show you that. And you can just see, even the bottom and how they wear. And this one's wearing well, this one is not. So, just amazing how they start to flake. And I believe I went crazy with some of the wood hardener on the bottom of this cabinet to just try and save it and preserve what's left of it. Okay, now we'll move it in. One thing you can do when you're tilting your game back, keep a spare piece of cardboard around, slide it underneath that back edge that you're leaning it on to help protect it at least a little bit, especially if you're on a harder, rougher surface. We'll go ahead and we'll lean it back onto the Super Dolly 2000 and try to get Frogger in the house. So of course I pushed the game in and then realized I probably should clean the monitor. So I'm wiping the monitor, and even though this has been in a collector's home for some time, you know, it's not often that you get in there to clean the monitor, and it is pretty dirty. So it's just, you know, that's part of having a CRT. They collect dust. So we're gonna clean that off and put this back in the hole. Well, Frogger is in its hole. It has made it into the basement. We have it here, and as my friend Rob likes to comment on the videos or tell me afterwards, he's like, oh, well, you know, you had a drink in the end and I could tell. So we're having our glass of wine because Frogger's classy like that, I suppose. Anyway, well, let's talk about the game and how it is here. Let me set up the camera, but I do want to mention that one of the things I find extremely interesting about this game is just one of the people who has played it. And that is one of the world record holders, Don Hayes. Now, he played it over in John's basement. He is local to New England, and he's played this game. And if we take a look here, that's him, DBH, right up at the top, 9990. I think I said enough nines. 4 nines and a 0. Before the game rolls over back to 0. Now, he has world records in many titles, including Frogger, and is probably more notably known for his 7 million point plus score on Centipede, which we don't hear. But he also has had some scores on Tutankhamun, which I have down here. Now, he has not played this one, but I just thought that was interesting, and I saw some of his scores, and I'm like lucky to get anywhere close to, you know, 30,000, so, which I don't really do, but, you know, it's just interesting seeing how good some of these players are. And he's active in that classic arcade gaming community. You can find him on some of the other forums there, and he does go by that DBH. But it was just fun reading about some of the things that he has done, such as winning the Fun Spot Classic Arcade Gaming tournaments. He's taken, you know, second place for multiple years in a row. He's a great player. He's got world records in the Glob, Millipede, Centipede, Tutankhamun, Timber, Tron, a whole slew of games. And it's just, you know, it's fun to read about some of these guys, and I just find it extremely interesting that, you know, when John was telling the story about him playing this game, you know, he got to that 99,990, and then he had to stop. He just let it go, because at that point it rolls over. Anyway, the game is here. We're going to play around. I'm going to get nowhere close to Don Hayes. And perhaps I'll even clear the first screen, but bet not. So we can laugh about it later. But let's go ahead and play around. So let's go ahead and we'll play a round of Frogger, and I'm going to do horrible. I feel like this game's kind of hard, at least for me, not for somebody like Don Hayes. Now, I was reading on the Classic Arcade Gaming website that, you know, he's kind of a modern era player, but has shown that he has been clever enough to play the games throughout the 80s as a lot of these guys have, and documented his own scores. And I tried going to that link, and that link is since dead, but using the Wayback Machine, he has documented, DBH there has documented tons of games that in scores that he has played, and you're gonna have to use the Wayback Machine and go to, I believe it is thedonald.org, O-R-G, and on his site he has links, but you're gonna need to go back to like the mid to late 2000s, like 2008-ish, to find a good working Wayback Machine archived link, and he goes through and he lists scores for tons of games. So if you want to, and even some of those scores are probably outdated depending on when you click it, but he also has a Twin Galaxies profile that you can look at and compare yourself to, and then, you know, give yourself something to shoot for, as I now have a score that is unobtainable on this machine, at least for me and everyone here in my family. Well, let's go ahead and play around. So as you guys know, the object is to get across the road. Well, we may have to do this again. And don't hit cars. Like, if you hit cars, you die. If you're a frog, but you can't swim, which is an interesting concept too, right? So, and the other thing is, let's see if we can do this real quick. The turtles turn green and they flip over. And when they flip over, you fall in. And your job is to get up to one of those 5 spots up there, and you have to do that 5 times. So let's just, we'll kind of go over, see if we can do that real quick, and then we'll play for real. So that's the idea, is to get all the way over and do that multiple times. Oh, I keep getting a chance to play. Alright, let's go. Oh, that one flips fast. Alright, so now we know how to play, right? We're not going to screw this up, in theory. So, let's try this again. Oh, my kids do love the Buckner and Garcia version of the song. They play that Pac-Man Fever album in this house way too much, and yes, it is on record when they play it. Alright, here we go. Alright, we got 2. We can get that bug for points, or whatever it is, I don't really know. Ooh, I'm gonna flip over, aren't I? You need to come up with a good strategy. I got a couple extra 100 points for that. Probably should read, you know, the instructions that they do with the game when it starts. Alright, we got 4. Alright. I mean, there's a high score save kit in here that I'm probably never gonna use. Ooh. Oh no. Ooh, that's a hard one to get. Now I got a race car going in front of us, and that's just gonna screw me up for sure. Yep, ran me over. Can I get that last one? Made it. Oh, come on. I think it's moving a little bit faster too, if you couldn't tell. Let's go. We made it! Hooray! We gotta do it again, and then you repeat. So we cleared one screen. There's 2 race cars there now. Ooh, I moved. And an alligator. Well, there you go. Clearly, we're going to be number 1 in no time. But hopefully, this was kind of exciting or interesting or killed some time for you at the very least. And thanks again for watching. I hope you did enjoy our trip to John's house and our trip to Freeplay, where we worked on some games and we got to meet our friend Maddie Z, who's working on Defender. And I'm probably going to head over there the next day or so. We're going to see how Defender's holding up, because as you know, sometimes these things come and go as far as problems go. So we'll take a look at it. Hopefully it was just indeed a power issue, and reflowing the headers worked and not necessarily a RAM issue, although we thought it was a RAM issue at first. And then we did replace all those transistors on the Omega Race black and white vector monitor that I will probably be doing shortly on my Asteroids monitor, just so I don't have to worry about that in the future, because Andy B gave us some excellent tips in our last Asteroids video. If you read through those comments there, he gave us a whole plethora of information, and I can't thank him enough for all that, sharing that with us, which I know a lot of this is sometimes common knowledge for some of us, but you know, I'm not a vector guy, although maybe someday I'll learn more. But there's some other great vector places, vector YouTube content creators out there. And then the other thing too is I I'm sure a lot of you guys already subscribed to John, but make sure you check out John's channel if you haven't already. He does a lot of great content that is out there. So thanks again for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let them know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, guys. Have a good one.